So this is a continuation of my other video on building a healthy environment. We are going to continue with avoiding frustration. So teachers who are astute observers of children are able to plan and implement a therapeutic environment. They are alert to individual signs of frustration and stress. Understanding the developmental level of each child makes it possible to plan appropriate activities. Even the best matched activities, however, can produce frustration in a tired, hungry, or sick child. Teachers should quickly recognize warning signs such as fussing, crying, nail biting, sighing, fidgeting, thumb sucking, and tantrums. Usually, a prompt change of activity reduces the frustration and thus prevents disruptive behavior. Our last one is encouraging desirable expressions of feelings. Joseph, 2003, emphasizes the importance of enhancing a child's emotional vocabulary when he defines emotional literacy as the ability to recognize, label, and understand feelings in oneself and others. Teachers choose either to provide an opportunity for helpful expression or to insist on at least temporary suppression. To correctly perceive feelings in themselves and others, children must have words for those feelings. Children can be taught feeling words directly by pairing pictures of facial expressions of feelings with the appropriate effective label. So with each part of being able to promote a healthy environment, a child is able to feel more relaxed, more secure within their household as well as in the classroom. So with this last part where it says a child can be able to pair facial expressions of their feelings with the appropriate effective label, that is more of a child in a lower level, such as kindergarten, first grade, or even pre-K. My experience as a fifth grade teacher, we do have a mood chart where a child is able to place how they're feeling on that day, or even at that moment of time when they're taking this assessment or when they're doing an assignment in class. And it allows the teacher to come to the child and to secure them, to give them a sense of trust, to let them know that they are there for them. These mood charts are in each one of the child's table, whereas the teacher is able to walk around and observe not only their assessments and not only how they're doing, but also how they're feeling. And it allows the teacher to actually give attention to the child who needs it. Thank you for your time. And this was my presentation.